I'm here in front of Gem Autos, who have been gracious enough to lend me this 2013 BMW 528i xDrive. This is a 2-liter turbo, 4-cylinder engine that BMW introduced in 2012. Let's find out if this 5 Series with this 2-liter engine is still a powerhouse like the inline 6.
Okay, I'm gonna give her. Not bad. It's not bad. If you're used to the inline 6, obviously the sound on this engine is nothing special. It does have BMW characteristics. It's just a matter of if you would want to get used to this engine or not. Because if you're used to the inline 6, that sound is, those engines sound much better. For a heavy car, it does pick up speed really well. When you're cornering, so let's see. For such a big car, it corners really well.
This 2012 528i is powered by a 2-liter 4-cylinder single turbo engine. BMW calls it twin power turbo. So it's a twin scroll turbo, and it produces the same horsepower as the previous year with the inline 6, 240 horsepower. But the torque on this is 260 pound-feet compared to 230 pound-feet from the inline 6. It's supposed to be more fuel efficient than the inline 6, but it's only by 2 mpg, I believe. Another change for 2012 was that 528i and 535 came with all-wheel drive standard, as BMW calls it xDrive. According to BMW, it's only a second behind the 550i, which is powered by a V8, and half a second behind the 535i. BMW ended up using more high-strength steel in this generation. So this generation is the F10. Before this was the E60. Before that was the E39. This is supposed to be 55% stiffer than the previous generation. The weight distribution on this is typical BMW. It's as close to 50-50 you can get. 49.6 in the front and 50.4 in the back. So when it comes to handling, it's got good characteristics. F10 was a toned down version of the E60, which BMW took a lot of hate for because they deviated from that classic BMW styling for the exterior. The E39, in my opinion, is probably one of the best looking 5 Series that ever came out. Till this day, I think it has a really good presence. I'm not a big fan per se of this styling, but they had to change and move into the new era of cars. When I compare it to the A6 and the Mercedes E300, I think it does look a little bland from the outside. The interior is actually really good quality and well built, but when you look at the other two, Mercedes and Audi, it does look a little simple than what the competition is offering. Five Series also had a lot of competition from Acura, Infiniti, Lexus, but it was actually a good move on BMW's part because the Infiniti M37, the Acura RL, and the Lexus GS 350 were all aimed for the 535 and the 550s. The only car that's close to the 528i in price and in performance is actually the Mercedes E300, which is powered by a 3.5 liter V6. I believe it makes 248 horsepower and around 260 pound-feet of torque. and they were very competitively priced with each other. And I'm only talking about base, because once you start adding options on these, they just keep going up. Both cars were very close to each other in pricing and performance. One has a V6, the other has a 2-liter turbo. This weighs at 4,000 pounds, and the Mercedes E300 also weighs 4,000 or 4,001 pounds. So they are identical when it comes to a lot of those things. Because the rest of the cars, although you might be able to get something for cheaper, first, like for the BMW 528i, would be that when you're driving in the city,
the turbo 4-cylinder is actually very smooth, and that probably has to do with that 8-speed automatic transmission that BMW is using.
The power delivery on it is very smooth and very consistent. It doesn't feel like it's hunting for gears.
The balance that these BMWs have is amazing. This is a big car, it's a heavy car. It's so inspiring. You can feel the road perfectly, although I'm not a big fan of this big steering wheel that they have, but it still has the BMW characteristics.
This is where a lot of hardcore enthusiasts might disagree. The handling on it is very nimble. It's not as sharp as what a lot of people have been used to over the years from BMW. BMW 5 Series being a full-size sedan, the 528i is very spacious. You can have 5 people easily sit in the car and go for a long drive and not feel tired or cramped. I really love the tilt-away feature that the steering wheel has when you're entering and exiting the vehicle. Most manufacturers should actually put this feature as standard, since it is an easy way of getting in and out of the car. It's only marginally better on gas compared to the previous 3-liter inline 6 that it replaced. Now the exact numbers is 2 miles per gallon, so I'm not sure if you are gaining a lot for fuel efficiency, but in my opinion you're losing a lot when it comes to the sound, when it comes to the way the 3-liter inline 6 delivers power, the way it sounds. A regular consumer might like the idea of having a 2-liter turbo for the long run.
I also noticed that after 4,500 RPM, you start to feel that the engine,
it feels like it's lost power. So that was one thing I didn't like, because under 5,000 RPM, the car is so good, so smooth and consistent. Usually you don't get that sort of feeling from them when you rev them out, because all of them, they love to rev, especially the inline 6. It was a nice high revving engine that you always wanted to hear when you were driving and you wanted to redline it. It lacks that steering feedback that we know from BMW. The steering on it is good, but not BMW good. It feels a little heavy and less direct. If you're used to the previous BMWs that were more direct and you felt everything on the road, this is more on the comfortable side of steering. It's less direct, it will get the job done. If you're not a hardcore BMW enthusiast, it will still put a smile on your face. Isn't really a dislike, because I don't think BMW interiors are by any means cheap quality or less functional than others, but I just find that when you're comparing them to the direct competition, the competitors do present a more luxurious looking interior. For some people who are going for gas mileage, they will get the BMW comfort, they will get the BMW quality, they will also get the driving characteristics, but not as hardcore as what enthusiasts would want.
this car would be perfect for someone who commutes a lot.
The 3-liter inline 6 was and always will have a special place for people who've driven BMWs for a long time. This 2-liter is good for people who want a smaller engine but don't want to sacrifice the quality interior, the space, and the comfort of a 5 Series. The 528i won't appeal to people who have been used to the 3-liter inline 6, because they'll probably go for the 535i, and if you want a nice V8, you'll probably go for a 550i. For people looking for a comfortable daily driver that's good in the city, good on the highway, this is a very good car to be in for a daily commute. So that's it for today's episode, guys. Hope you guys enjoyed. Be sure to check out Gem Autos if you're looking for a gem of a deal.